Today I'll be teaching you how to make these 4-leaf clovers just in time for St. Patrick's Day. This is a very simple craft. All you'll need is a swatch of green felt, a needle and thread, and a pair of scissors. The first thing you'll want to do is decide how large you want your 4-leaf clover to be. I decided my clover would be about 2.5 inches, so each leaf is about 1 inch. So I'm just going to cut a strip. That's about how high I want my clover petals to be. Then I'm going to cut that strip in half. And with 1/2, I'm going to cut out a heart shape. So to cut out the heart shape, you want to fold in half. So the fold will be the center of our heart when we unfold it. So we're going to fold this in half and then cut out your heart shape. And then when you unfold it, you'll have your heart. For the shamrock itself, for the 4-leaf clover, you want your hearts to have flat bottoms. So I cut my hearts naturally that way. If you cut your heart to have a pointed bottom, make sure you just snip it off so it has a nice flat bottom. Now that I have one clover, I'm going to use that clover as my template to cut out the rest. So I'm going to lay it on top of my piece of felt and then just cut out around it. They don't have to be exactly the same, but you want it to be a similar size so that the clover looks even in the end. Now I'm going to lay this down to see how thick of a strip I should cut. Then I'll cut my strip in half, lay the 2 halves together, and I'm going to cut out these last 2 at the same time. So just very slowly cutting around that shamrock shape. And there we go. I have 4 hearts that all have the bottoms sliced off of them. They all have nice flat bottoms. So now with my needle and thread, the first thing I'm going to do is tie a knot in the bottom of my string. And I'm going to leave a long tail, which I'll show you why in just a minute. So we'll tie our knot and leave a nice long tail. Now I'm going to do a running stitch in the bottom of each heart, so along this flat edge that we left flat. So we'll just come in, out, in, out. And pull it all the way through. A little slower this time. I'm going to go from the back to the front, and then front to back, and then back to front, and then front to back. You always want to end on the same side that you started through. So I started going through the back, I'll come out the back. This will just keep it a little bit neater in the end. Now I'm going to do a running stitch on my next one, and see I haven't cut or knotted off any of my stitches. So I'm just going to go back to front, front to back, back to front, front to back. And now for the last one. Pull it all the way through. And now you have your 4 hearts. They're laying nice and flat. All we have to do, and this is the reason why we left this long tail, is we're going to cinch these all the way down to the bottom. And then you're going to take that long tail and the end of the thread and double knot it. So I'm going to do 1 knot, pull it nice and tight, and 2 knots. Pull it nice and tight. Now you can trim these tails. And rearrange your clover leaves so that they lay nice and flat. And there you go. You have 2 lucky 4-leaf clovers.